What's YouTube? We're finally back. UFC 249. I know about you guys, but I've been going fucking insane. I'm glad we're finally getting back to sports. Alright, first fight on the card is Ryan Spann versus Sam Alvey. To me, this fight is pretty close. I think Ryan Spann's definitely younger, the longer, taller guy with the better overall ground game, but I feel like Sam Alvey can knock out almost anybody. But realistically, like, as much as I want Sam Alvey to win, I just think Ryan Spann, as long as he fights long, he's not going to get caught. Sam Alvey's never been great at covering distance, and I feel like in terms of Ryan Spann's like jab and teep and leg kicks, he should be able to stay on the outside and just edge out a decision. So like I said, I want Sam Alvey to win, but realistically I see Ryan Spann just winning a 30-27 decision. Next is Bryce Mitchell versus Charles Rosa, and to me, Charles Rosa, in his last fight, even though he won by armbar, it showed he is a solid black belt. I feel like he was getting out-grappled for most of that fight up until he caught the guy in the armbar. And I feel like Bryce Mitchell is just just like the other guy. I think Bryce Mitchell is just the stronger wrestler and grappler overall. As long as he doesn't make a mistake and get caught, I think he's essentially going to do what the last guy Rosa fought was. I think Bryce should be able to get this fight to the ground and just, you know, do ground and pound and maybe either win by decision or get a rear naked choke at some point in time. So I'm going with Bryce to win by decision or submission. Next, we got Vicente Luque versus Nico Price. And to me, this is a rematch, and I don't think anything's going to be different. I think Nico's always got a possibility of knocking somebody out with one shot. He's got real one-punch knockout power, and he throws crazy shit, but a lot of the times he gets fucked up too because his technique overall isn't super amazing. It's more like he's willing to trade with anybody, and he's a decent striker and a decent jiu-jitsu guy. But I think overall striking and overall ground game, Vicente's just better at both, and I think the same thing's going to happen. I think Vicente's just going to rock him on the feet and either knock him out or submit him once he hurts him, just like the first time. So I got Vicente winning by finish, probably the first or second round. Next, we got Uriah Hall versus Jacare Souza, and to me, I just think Jacare is just way better overall. I think on the feet, Uriah Hall has always been kind of hit or miss. He doesn't always fight the best he can. And Jacare can knock out anybody too. It's not like there's a massive gap in their striking. Hall's definitely probably better when he's on fire, but like I said, that's a 50-50 thing. And on the ground, Souza's 100 times better in my opinion. I think if he gets it to the ground, he's probably going to win by sub. So I think it's probably going to be in the first round. I think Souza's either going to knock him out get him to the ground win by sub. I think it's most likely the second thing, though. So I'm going with Jacare with first round submission, probably like a rear naked choke. Next, we got Carla Esparza versus Michelle Waterson. And Carla Esparza, my biggest problem with her is his conditioning's kind of looked shitty recently. That was always one of her biggest strengths was her nonstop wrestling and phenomenal conditioning, but lately, she hasn't been looking super amazing conditioning-wise, as where Michelle Waterson went 5 hard rounds with Joanna. And even though I thought she lost all 5 rounds, she still fought at a solid pace for all those rounds. I feel like Carla is definitely the much better wrestler, but I think overall striking jiu-jitsu, Michelle's definitely better at both. It's just who gasses first, and I'm leaning towards Carla gassing first. I think Michelle might either catch her with a head kick or a submission in the third. I think the first round Carlo will win, second round will be close, and like I said, I think Michelle's going to get a third round finish. Next, we got Alexei Oleinik versus Fabricio Werdum, and to me, these guys are the exact same. They're striker jiu-jitsu guys. It's just how much ring rust does Werdum have, and he was TKO'd in his last fight. How's his chin doing? Like I said, they're the same fighter. I think Werdum is more athletic at everything. He is the better striker and overall submission guy, in my opinion. It's just he's been off for so long. I think that'll help him though, just because going off after you lose by knockout is good to take some time off. So I'm leaning towards Werdum. Like I said, I just think he's the better striker submission guy. As long as he doesn't get caught with something or just kind of get pinned against the fence, I think Alexei's gonna get knocked out probably in the first round. So I got Werdum by first round KO. Next we got Donald Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis, and to me, I think what happened the first fight is strongly possibly going to happen in the second fight because what happened was basically they're just opposite stances, and Anthony Pettis throws amazing kicks. Like, even though he's on a kind of losing streak just like Cerrone, the technique isn't gone. You know, the body kicks that he beat him with the first time are still there. I think if Cerrone's smart, he'll try to take this fight to the ground. Pettis has always had trouble stopping guys from taking it to the ground. And I think on the ground, I do think Cerrone has the advantage there. He's the longer, taller guy. They're both really good jiu-jitsu guys, but I just think Cerrone's bigger. And if he was smart, he would just try to wrestle. like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Pettis is going to land a body kick, and I don't know if he'll finish him or if Cerrone will just. It's tough because I feel like Cerrone is still better at this moment because Pettis hasn't looked super good recently, and Cerrone's just he's lost fights, but I felt like, other than the Conor one, he looked decent in the other two. He just got, his eye blew up in the Tony one, and he got caught against Gaethje. Pettis has kind of been getting overwhelmed. It's just the opposite stance thing, where I feel like Pettis might catch him with a body kick again. It just depends who does what. If Cerrone can get to the ground early, I think he's going to win. If Pettis can just smash him with that body kick early, I think he's going to win. But like I said, I think if Cerrone fights like how Nate did, he'll win, because I feel like he can do that, and that's what he should do. So I'm leaning towards Cerrone. I think he's smart, and he avoids the kickboxing and just uses his wrestling and jiu-jitsu to win a decision. Next, we got the worst fight on the card. This is not a joke. I don't know why this is on the fucking main card. It's so stupid. Greg Hardy versus Yorgan De Castro. And to me, I think Yorgan De Castro is basically just a better version of Greg Hardy. He's the more polished striker. They're both basically just strikers. But I've just seen Yorgan beat guys who were high prospects. He knocked them both out. And I think that's what's going to happen in this one. I think we're going to see two good strikers, but Yorgan's just the much better striker. This should honestly be the first fight on the card. They're early prelim fighters at best. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Yorgan. I think his overall technique's just way better than Greg Hardy's, and I think he's going to probably TKO him with leg kicks, in my honest opinion. I think his kickboxing is really solid, and I don't think Greg Hardy is great at checking kicks. I think Castro's just going to light his legs up and win by TKO from leg kicks. Next, we got Jeremy Stephens versus Calvin Kattar, and this is really tough. I think it could go either way. I think these guys, they both are kind of like technical brawlers. I feel like Calvin Kattar can kind of fight either moving forward or moving backwards, and I feel like Jeremy Stephens obviously can only do it forward, but they're both like really high-level technical brawlers. They both are like really solid takedown defense and have decent takedown offense. I think it's just kind of who's gonna land the big shot / the combos first. I'm leaning towards Stephens, but like I said, I think this fight could really go either way. It's a coin flip. It's just whoever's landing the better shots is probably going to win. And I'm just leaning towards Stephens. I like his forward pressure. And I also like that Jeremy mixes in leg kicks, and we've seen Calvin has had trouble with leg kicks. So I think as long as Jeremy mixes up his attack, he should win probably by TKO eventually. Next, we got Francis Ngannou versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And to me, this fight's really tough because I feel like the way these guys fight, it does kind of favor Jairzinho. I feel like he is just the better conditioned, better overall kickboxer. I think, Ngannou's got one-punch power. He can knock out anybody at any point in time. But Jairzinho, he's such a high-level kickboxer. I feel like guys who just throw one punch at a time, like Ngannou, are going to have a hard time against someone who has as good a movement and shit like that as Jairzinho. It's not like Overeem. Like, Overeem, I felt like he has the grappling and way more high-level kickboxing experience, so he could kind of avoid a lot of the big shots. Ngannou, the way he fights is he basically just keeps his hands down and fucking goes out there and throws. I'm not saying he has bad technique or nothing, but he does. He keeps his hands super low, and I feel like a guy like Jairzinho can probably catch him with a head kick whenever he wants. I mean, Ngannou's never been wobbled or anything, but I really feel like Jairzinho, it's not going to be like Overeem. He's not going to get taken down or pushed against the fence. Like, it's going to be a kickboxing match in the middle of the ring, and I'm just leaning towards Jairzinho. I think he's the faster, more polished kickboxer. They both have one-punch knockout power, but like I said, I just like Jairzinho's technique way more than Ngannou's. Next, we got Henry Cejudo versus Dominick Cruz, and a lot of people are counting out Dominick Cruz, and I don't know why. I think he's significantly taller than Cejudo, and I don't think Cejudo's going to be able to hold Dominick down like how he did to Demetrius, because he was bigger than Demetrius, Cejudo was. He's not bigger than Dominick like that, and Dominick's never had that happen to him. I think that if it's just a kickboxing match, I think Dominick's the faster, longer guy and can kind of, if he uses his jab a lot, which, he'll use whatever strike he needs to, I think he can keep Cejudo on the outside like he does a lot of the guys he's fought and just win. I think Cejudo, a lot of his stuff is closing distance really fast and swinging big. It's not like Cody, where Cody, kind of fights like Dominick. He just has way more power and his hand speed's ridiculous. With Cejudo, it's more like his whole body's fast, kind of like Tyron Woodley, because it's that wrestler shot. With Cody, it was a hand speed thing. Like Cruz couldn't keep up with the hand speed. I feel like TJ is kind of like Cejudo. He's just a faster version of it. And I feel like, you know, Dominic was able to kind of beat TJ, in my opinion, pretty easily until he kind of like hurt his leg. And then he was slowing down, and TJ was able to catch him with bigger shots in the last like round or two. But I feel like unless Dominic gets injured, he should be, like I said, and the other thing is TJ was throwing a lot of head kicks, and he's a lot taller than Cejudo. I think the height is going to be a big thing that people aren't considering. I think that unless Cejudo is just able to catch him with a big overhand, I think Dominic just throws more volume and has better movement. And I think he's not going to get held down like Demetrius did. And I think Dominic's going to edge out a decision. That's just how I see it. I don't think he's going to get caught with anything. I think he's just going to outpoint him for 5 rounds. Finally, we go on to the main event. It's Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. And to me, I think this fight's a lot closer than people are giving it credit for. I think a lot of people think Tony's just going to walk through Justin. I think Tony's biggest issue is he keeps his hands super low. He gets caught a lot. He gets dropped a lot. And I feel like a lot of the guys that catch him and drop him don't have as much one-punch knockout power as Gaethje. I think that when he keeps his hands super low just so he can throw the faster punches, if he does that against someone like Gaethje, I think Gaethje's going to catch him and knock him out, in all honesty. I don't think this fight's going to hit the ground. Both these guys' overall wrestling, offense and defense, is about the even, in my opinion, in the sense that I don't think they're going to be able to take each other down or hold each other down. I think it's either Tony's volume is going to wear out Gaethje and knock him out, or I think Gaethje, who's fighting a lot smarter recently, is just going to slow the pace down just enough to where the way that Tony carries his hands, I think he's going to knock him out, in all honesty. I think he's going to catch him with a big shot early. That's just how I see it. I think it's going to be a great fight for as long as it lasts, but I think it's going to be like what Gaethje did to Cerrone. I think he's going to time and measure him and knock him out just because of how low he keeps his hands. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.